Zach here from Warhope Solar and Electrical. Today I'm just going to run through how to use your EV DC bi-directional car charger. So here today on this configuration we've got the 12.5 kilowatt DC charger on a single phase installation. So first step, most important, need to get this charger plugged into the car. So there is a little trick with this holster. You've got to grab the holster and lift vertically up slightly, and then it simply comes out. And the same for when you're locking it back in. You put it in from the top and you slide down ever so slightly, and that'll hold it in. All right, we'll get it plugged into the car and then we'll go from there. Okay, this next step will be different on different models of electric cars, but next step is to open your charging port. Simply push the charger all the way in, nice and firm so it clicks in, and now we'll get the app open and select the correct settings. Okay, we're now here, we've got our app open on our phone, and this is the dashboard that you'll see. So as a very basic overview here, we can see that we have solar coming in from our DC coupled solar, as well as some existing third-party solar from the property. We can see here the power being used in the home, the current state of charge of the battery, and the state of what the battery is currently doing. So right now it's charging at 2.3 kilowatts. Over here, we can see we've got the symbol for the DC charger and there's nothing going on yet. So what we want to do is tap on the charger. All right, we now come into our charging screen. Up the very top right-hand corner, it'll show you what you were most previously on. So in this case, the last time this charger was being used, it was in the PV surplus charging mode. If we click into that, we can see it was on surplus PV, but it was also allowing to charge from the battery boost, and it was cutting the battery off at 70%. What that means is it will prioritize to take power from the excess solar coming down from the roof, but it will also allow that charging speed to be topped up by the battery capacity. And then once the battery reaches 70% of state of charge, it would then cut off the battery and only allow it to take from solar. So in the circumstance that you had your car plugged in, it didn't really need to be charged straight away, you would come in here and you'd turn off the battery boost mode and you would save that. When you're in PV surplus mode with the battery boost off, that will only allow your car to charge from excess solar that's coming down from the roof. One more mode within this setting is down the bottom here, and that's the surplus PV priority. Now what that means is whether you want your car to charge before your home battery or after. So when the solar is coming down from your rooftop, it's always going to cover your load in your house first, and that's a setting that can't be changed. And it's always going to export to the grid as last priority. But what we do have the option for is we can choose whether we want to charge our home battery or our car first. And where that setting might come into play is if you're at home, you want to charge from excess solar, you know you're going somewhere in the afternoon, so you want to prioritize your car over your home battery. And this is where you might come in here and move those priorities. It's simple as grabbing the toggle on the side and just sliding it up. So we'll just leave it back where it was. So we're prioritizing the battery first before the DC car charger. All right. Now, the only other option to go through here is if we wanted to plug the car in and you urgently needed to go somewhere in a couple of hours and you wanted to get the car fully charged and you didn't mind where the power come from, we would come up the top here and with the charging mode, we would swap it from PV surplus up to the fast charging mode, and then it'll always take surplus solar from the roof. It'll also allow the inverter to draw power in from the grid. And lastly, we've still got this battery boost option. So we can turn this on, and same rule applies here. If for whatever reason you didn't want to draw power from the grid and you wanted it to come from your home battery first, you would simply grab this and slide it down and go, okay, I'm happy for the battery to be completely discharged to allow it to go into my car battery. All right. So we'll come back here and we'll give you a demonstration on charging. So I'll put it on PV surplus. I will allow my battery to give some support. So I'll allow it to go down to 50%. So I can use up to 50% of my battery and also excess solar from the roof. So I'll save that. The setting's now saved. This is critical. We want to go back here now, and now that we've set our settings in this top section here, we want to click start. Now what will happen is we can see here this blue window has popped up. It's establishing connection. It's doing its insulation detection. You might have just heard in the background a few clicks from the inverter. That is it engaging the charging. And in about 30 to 60 seconds, once all those charging checks have been established, the inverter will beep like that and will start to send power into the car battery. Lastly, with the settings up here on the top, once you set a setting in there, that profile will always be saved. So if you are always charging with the same protocol, you've only got to set it once and it'll be locked in the system. The only reason to go in there and change the settings is if your circumstances change and you want to use the charger in a different operation. So now if we come back here to our main dashboard page, it'll take about 60 seconds for the data to update on here, and then we'll be able to see the car charging. So right now, we've got 12.5 kilowatts going directly into our car, and it is using the power it can from the roof. We're still supplying the load in the house here. If we slide this around, we're still supplying the 1.5 kilowatts in the house. We can see down the bottom here that the grid is still completely on standby. It's doing nothing. So right now, we're drawing power from our roof and we're discharging our battery, and this will keep discharging this battery until it gets down to that 50% threshold cutoff. And that's how to use the bi-directional DC car charger with Sigenergy.